But yeah, welcome to the show. We have your boy International Jones, also known as Fiend. What's happening, big homie?
Everything's solid, man. How y'all making out today?
Cool, my nigga. Just another day in this ground trying to come up, you dig? Been a long time fan of your work, you dig? Like, coming from the East Coast, it's uncommon, but I basically grew up off the No Limit Funk and the West Coast DPG funk because, y'all was spitting that G shit, you dig, where on the East Coast, niggas wasn't really putting in that shit that niggas could ride to, and, the whole No Limit camp was on some rider shit, so I definitely fuck with your work. But yeah, let me go ahead and get to these show notes and shit. Yes, sir. Now, you have a long, long track list of hits and records, starting off with this One in Every Family. Of course, let's start off with your history. You started with Big Boy Records. Then, you went to No Limit. And then you went to Jet Life. And then you're doing your thing right now where, you got classic albums like this One in Every Family, Street Life, which is my all-time favorite. Like, I done bought that shit like 2 or 3 times. Then you got The Addiction, the Can I Burn 1 and 2, and then your most recent joint, Rapping Papers. Now, do you feel like you have grown or evolved? And if so, how have you grown?
Yeah, I mean, just like with anything, you get better at what you do. In the course of time, I feel like I've grown. I'm just more developed in the music, and instead of just being just in the booth. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm just all around. I have enough studio savvy and business savvy, which I could have probably been lack of being just, as an artist during 98, you know what I'm saying, to 2000 through my duration of No Limit Records, up until now. I just feel like I just keep getting better. You know what I mean? You go around those blocks at these tours and these people you do that a couple of times, you tend to get a little better.
I can dig it. At what age did you start rapping? Or build love for the rap game?
Man, I was probably early teen, maybe 12, 11, just jotting down some words, putting some words together,
How do you come up with the name? Go ahead, my bad.
No, it's all good. That's roundabout. How I came up with the name of Fiend. I went by a lot of names, but Fiend stuck because I was such a big Rakim fan. Eric B. Rakim, and he was the microphone fiend, and my tone of voice, a lot of my buddies was like, man, you sound like this cat. So I was like, if I do this, I'm gonna go by the name of Fiend, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just an addict of music, you know what I'm saying? I love making music. All I want to do is battle rap. All I want to do is bust rhymes. So I kind of stuck with the name Fiend.
I can dig it. Like I was really shocked when I seen you on the Rough Rider camp. That was like the last era of New York music I was really riding. How do you get plugged up with No Limit? How do you get plugged up with Rough Rider?
We had a mutual respect for each other from the giddy up, and we just ended up. DMX was on his way doing more movies and things of that nature, and they were looking for someone with that aggressiveness to still be able to keep the brand going. So we kind of like, it was a nice little mesh up, and I had just so much respect for D.Y., Siobhan, the whole Dean family, over there at Rough Rider. So it was a no-brainer, you know what I'm saying? It was a no-brainer. We got together. And, we put it down. We made some real dope tunes,
That's real. Now, I recently seen on your Instagram that you was in the credits of Transformers 4. Give me a little bit of, details about that right there. Was that a track that you did for the soundtrack?
Well, it's a track we did. Me and this cat Rodney, the boss, out of Monroe, a cat that I managed. And it so happened that they picked up on the track and they reached out. And, just by having ownership, we own the record, it made it less of a brainer to go ahead and get it done. And, just be happy to continue to acknowledge, the works and things that I do and the people that I work with. And I placed the track on Transformers 4, Age of Extinction, which I actually saw the movie last night. And, it's a good look for the independent guy, to show that you don't have to necessarily be on a major label and sign away all your life just to get, you know what I'm saying, your music, your knowledge, or those type of business ventures, you know what I'm saying, with your foot in the door, stuff like that, you know.
I can dig it. You know, I was, you know, just brushing up on your music because I'm always jamming your shit. You know, going through your old shit. I noticed that you had tracks with Skullduggery. I noticed that you're still in contact with Mama Drama and Mystical. Who else from the No Limit camp are you still cool with or still close to, or you see on the often?
Oh, I'm cool with everybody. Everybody good. Everybody good.
What's the relationship with P right now?
Same as we left each other. That's one thing he's always stressed to me, so that's kind of like why I left it at. You know, we good. If I left you on a good note, then we're still good. You know what I'm saying? If I left you on a bad note, then you know what it is. And last I talked to him, you know, we were on a good note. Wasn't no negative energy or nothing like that. So I'm going to say our relationship should be fair, pretty good.
Dig. I know it's probably more of a personal issue between Murder and P, but what's going on with that current situation? Because, you know, I recently heard about a year ago, like, your boy P left and Star King putting no money on his commissary, just leaving nigga in the hole and shit, you dig? Do you have any information about that situation?
Nah, that's their family business. I couldn't tell you what's going on with that, you know what I'm saying? I do know that I just went to a benefit concert for C Murder, and things are positive. It was a nice turnout, and that, you know, we all, as family, are working on him and Mac's release from prison for being falsely accused on things that they have been charged with. So, you know, a lot of music coming out, man. New C Murder album dropping real soon. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of things coming out, new music coming on me. New Fiend dropping in September. You know what I'm saying? TGI up there in God is Fiend. And I know my brother Mac working on some things too. So, yeah, man, good times coming. Good times coming.
Yeah, free the big homie Mac. Whoa, Shell Shock, World War III, all-time classic albums, you dig? Yeah, I know some white people been fucking with you hard, man. I like that. That's definitely a good look, man. I know you got the Sleepy Bear T-shirt shit going on, man. But, yeah, my question would be, I guess, a lot of people have been saying, like, you know, your most recent shit, Rapping Papers, is still gangster, still some shit you can ride to, but it's a little mellowed down. Like, how do you feel like you switched up your flow a little bit, or would that change coming to? I know, you know, it's a little bit more mellow than your typical bounce music shit. Like, how you go about the change with the most recent work, Rapping Papers?
Yeah, I'm just vibing. You know what I'm saying? Just vibing, man. Making music, being an artist, not really restricting myself to just one sound. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what came out of it. I'm an artist to get up in there, you know what I'm saying, express myself, and that's what kind of, you know, what comes up. So that I would say that's what best describes that. Those tracks that I got from Monster Beats for the Rapping Papers, that's what the words that came about, you know, on that vibe. You know what I mean? If I got with Alchemist, you know, you'd probably get that vibe or maybe something a little different. You know, it's just kind of how I gel with producers or how I gel with other artists, you know what I'm saying, that kind of define how the music will come out, you know. I get with Dr. Dre, Kanye West, somebody you probably hear, you know, even more intensified sound and stuff. So, you know, I would say that's you know, I tend to gel with the times, you know what I'm saying? Like, if, you know, they listen real good, they'll see that, you know what I'm saying, it's present, you know what I mean? It ain't missing a step, it ain't missing a heartbeat, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's still me, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can't reinvent themselves or be able to change with the times and still be relevant and make sense, you know?
Yeah, because that shit is definitely hard as fuck, no homo. Like, I spit rock shit, letting people know you still spit that crack to that corner store. I know you got the video popping with that shit. And even away from it, like, that shit right there was deep. So, you know, we definitely appreciate, you know, the hard work and grind that you continue to do. The Katrina situation, were you in New Orleans when that shit went down?
I was actually in Natchez, Mississippi, doing some work, you know, and what happened was I was able to assist 34 people, you know, because of Katrina. 20 people stayed at my house and 14 people stayed in my office. You know what I mean? So that was how that went down. I was just grateful to have those facilities to be able to facilitate those people and family members. You know, so
shout out
that's
to
how
people
that
like
went.
you and shout out to people like you and David Banner and anybody else that really assisted during that catastrophe, because that shit was really fucked up. You know, about a couple of years ago, your boy 50 Cent, said that, the government did the best they could to aid the Katrina victims, where, it was a known fact that Bush totally flew over New Orleans and went straight to aid the people of Texas. Do you felt like FEMA or the government did enough to help the people out there?
I don't know. I don't know what the budget is. I don't know, how that's really going, to have an inside perspective, We got some help. And some help is better than none, you know what I'm saying? So we could have got no help whatsoever, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a double-edged sword kind of sort,
Now, there's conspiracy going on.
Go ahead.
I was saying that there's a conspiracy going on that, the government blew up the dams to save the rich neighborhood. Do you feel like that was true, or is that just, people talking shit?
I don't know, man. I'm not an engineer. So, and I haven't once studied the site myself. It's just perspectives, It's just opinions, But from a lot, you're hearing a lot of opinions about it. So maybe some of it may be true. But I feel that this is, I'm born and raised in the richest culture in the United States, and also the oldest African-American neighborhood of existence in America. So, So it's hard to say. And I don't know what the government's plot is. I don't know if the government, even is a main factor. I don't know if we even are a main factor or something to be worried about or concerned to. We may not be on their priority list like, I don't know. I don't know what, Like, I don't know all the legalities to it. I feel that, everybody has different perspectives of what happened, and I can easily point the finger like anybody else at the government, but, there's a difference between communities and a neighborhood. You call it a hood because you can cover your head with a hood, and it's something you cover up. A community are people that get out and can be able to tell you what they need and what they desire from the government. They're able to dictate what they need. So, I feel like, you get treated how you represent yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if we come together as a community and not represent ourselves as we're not worth anything, shooting ourselves, killing each other over nothing, tennis shoes, he say, she say, I think you get that type of respect from people. People treat you how you represent yourself. You know what I'm saying? You treat yourself with respect. A person will treat you with respect. You know what I'm saying? And I think that as a community and as a race, we probably let people get away with mistreating us because we mistreat ourselves. So I think, that all falls upon that, starting at your household. You know what I'm saying? That's how I really, really, really feel. You know what I'm saying? We know how most people look at us, how they talk about us as far as race. Racism exists more in the South than it exists anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to say that we have to do something about it. You know what I mean? We got to do something about it. We shouldn't depend on government to fix us, heal us, or do anything. We should depend on us. You know what I'm saying? If we spent with each other in communities, people with more stores, we wouldn't be dependent on somebody to save us. We'd be saving ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So, don't get me wrong, the government's supposed to be there to take care of us as far as whatever that we can't do for ourselves. But at the end of the day, I feel we're all responsible for ourselves. And, you know what I mean? So that's how I genuinely feel.
True. Now, before we continue on with the interview, we have a guest that's been holding on, that's been waiting to ask some questions. Go ahead and bring him onto the air. 707, are you with me?
Yes.
Ahead,
I just have a comment and a question. I know for me, I came from a poor single mom household, and I started listening to hip-hop when I was like 13, like Master P, Ice Cream Man, his hits. And I really gravitated to like smoking weed, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, selling drugs, and I'm like 30 years old now, and looking back on that, I mean, a lot of my friends are dead or in jail, and I just wonder if we all would have been better off working at McDonald's or something. And so I know the artists are doing the best they can, you know, just to get a job rapping. But my question is, as a whole, this question is for both of you guys. Do you think gangster rap has been a positive influence on America? Like, so many of my little white friends are on meth and trying to be hard and going to prison, and I just don't know if any of them would be doing any of this if they hadn't sat around and listened to gangster rap, you know? So that's my question.
I'm happy that you said that, but if that's the case, you would have to start getting rid of all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Commando, you'd have to start getting rid of all the Sylvester Stallone movies with the Rambos. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to go ahead and get all Al Pacino for doing Scarface. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can't just point out one genre or one entertainment of influence. You know, gangster rap is on a CD and on a cassette and it's digitally downloaded. You know what I'm saying? This was a way for you to, it's entertainment as well as a reality. You know, to do the news make you want to go out and shoot somebody in the face? No. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so watching About It movie, did it make you want to go cook crack? You know, was Master P help raise you in your household? Did Master P show up to your graduation? Did Master P show up for your 10th birthday party? You know what I'm saying? So I think you have a valid question, an awesome question, but I think that's falsely giving too much blame to a person, you know what I'm saying, that just had influence in your life. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with having a bad influence or good influence, because at the end of the day, it's going to make you have the experience that you need to be whomever you're going to be. But I want you to keep this in mind when you want to point a finger or have an opinion of pointing the finger at rap music. How come you don't point the finger on the Schwarzenegger? How come you don't point the finger at Al Pacino, Francis Coppola? How come you don't point the finger at these people as well for making these big blockbuster movies that are killing people, shooting people all day? You know, do we point the finger at the military for making these co-op movies, these co-op video games, you know, Halo and stuff like that, where they're training kids to be better with shooting with a gun at 5 years old or 10 years old when they could be somewhere going playing North football or baseball? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that gangster music or rap music should not get the blame, because if that's the case, you need to start with Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Because all we seeing in rap music, all we doing is giving you a perspective of what's outside our front door. You know what I'm saying? And gangster music, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and if it's glorified over and over again, it's on us to determine, you know what I'm saying, what's what, you know what I'm saying? Just because I hear about, I saw Pookie smoking crack in New Jack City, it didn't motivate me to want to smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I could say too much of anything is bad for you from what I hear. So, you know what I'm saying? And I don't believe I ever promoted smoking meth. You know what I'm saying? So your friends doing meth and stuff, you know, sometimes people go on bad roads. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's what he had to go through or she had to go through to be able to tell her story or have a testimony one day. You know, which my condolences go to all the friends that you lost, to the prison system, as well as being, you know, passing away. You know what I'm saying? No one cares to lose friends either way, you know. So my condolences go towards you. But I want you to keep that in mind, though, from here on out when you feel that gangster music may have done X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Entertainment alone has influence over America. You know what I'm saying? I saw the movie Cocaine Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? The documentary. You know, no one's pointing their finger at that. You know what I'm saying? Why would you put Cocaine Cowboys out? Why would you be showing people where they got the drugs? Oh, my God. Nobody said anything about that. But here comes Frank Lucas, Denzel Washington, playing him in a movie, American Gangster. And it's the same scenario, And now we can point the finger at our urban community, African American community all over again. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a blame game. And I look at as entertainment as being a great thing, and it helped took care of households and things of that nature for people through college, and they don't focus on the more positive things about it. You know, you don't see the John Travolta, the kids that go to school off of these movies when they shooting up people. And I have nothing against these people. These are actors that I grew up to love, you know what I'm saying, because of movies, and disliked them for movies that I didn't like as well, like anybody else in America. What I'm just trying to say is that it's a bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to start with Hollywood. You'd have to start with CNN. You'd have to start with your local news channel for making people feel the way that they feel. The music is just one thing. You know what I'm saying? Music is just one perspective. You know, if you want to point the finger, you have to point it at all of entertainment, not just rap music. You know, like I'm just saying, if that's your perspective, I think it's a dope perspective, but you have to blame the finger at all entertainment. Don't leave no one out. You know what I'm saying? I can take my responsibility for music and things that I've done that maybe entice people to want to go get violent and stuff, but I'm saying that if you're going to give me a charge, give Francis Coppola, you know, give, Arnold Schwarzenegger, give Sylvester Stallone, Vin Diesel, you know, give all these people, you know, give everyone their charge, you know what I'm saying, as far as entertainment that could have influenced America or youth to go somewhere in a wrong turn. You can't just point out gangster rap music, you know what I'm saying, because at that time as well, my brother, we didn't press up the CDs. We didn't have the distribution company to press up the CDs to make them, even give them to you. You know, just like playing the boats, you know, when it comes to saying that we don't own playing the boats to bring in drugs, you know what I'm saying?
True.
You know, yeah.
Yes, I agree, and I would definitely hold Hollywood, you know, the most accountable, and I definitely think that poverty is probably the real problem. You know, not gangster music, but I would definitely, you know, blame Hollywood and the news and the politicians and the video games. I definitely to blame, probably more so than gangster rap, but I would probably put the most of the blame on poverty.
Right. Well, poverty will make you do some strange things. You know what I'm saying? And now that's a whole other subject. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is designed on classism. You know what I'm saying? It's classism to keep you contained and keep you in a state of loss and confusion and thinking that, you know, you need to react, do this for $1 when you should be making your moves for business, not just $1. You know what I'm saying? Better business don't get, you know, bad business sometimes is like, hey, it was a bad deal, but a bad money, you know, or something like that can get you killed. You know what I'm saying? So most people should just work for business opportunities and what they can do to help themselves and just do business. You know, people shouldn't be so easily influenced, especially on negative things. You know what I'm saying? But I can agree. You know, a lot of people let themselves be influenced to do some things they saw on TV that they would have never saw. I remember one day seeing on TV, they showed you how to make crack. You know, showed you how to cook crack. I was like, okay, now, if I didn't know how to make crack, guess what I do now? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You know, yeah, man, like, you think about this here. You just saw Breaking Bad. It made everybody want to go get a meth lab. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a reality, and it's TV. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the actors are that doggone good to make you want to go do it, you know, that should tell you also it's not good, man. Like, you know, I feel like this here. You know what type of person that you are. And your family members around you know the type of person that you are. If you see someone falling off the wagon, it should be intervention. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk to you. We care for you. We love you. We don't want you to hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Poverty are going to make you do some strange things. You know, it's on you to get out of those neighborhoods. It's on you to get out of those environments to do something for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why they got programs and stuff for kids to go out to better themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's on kids to want to do something, you know. idle time, too much time on the kids, too much time on a kid that have nothing to do is going to be the devil's time. He's going to figure out some stuff to do that he ain't tripping over. He wasn't even been tripping over. He wasn't even worrying about breaking into the house, but he bored. And it's summertime. He don't have a Nord football game program to go to. So guess what? Now I'm in the B&E game. I'm breaking and entering. I'm bored. I'm stealing cars. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying drugs I wouldn't even try before because now I just got too much time on my hands. You know what I'm saying? So poverty and idle time is, there's something that best defines that cause people to try and do the things that they do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's my perspective of it. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be that influenced to do something negative. But I can't speak for everyone in America. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for people to tell you, what they should or should not be doing.
Yeah.
But that's a very good question, though, man. Very good question. Sorry to be so long-winded about it, but that was a very good question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm from Mendocino County, Northern California, where everybody grows marijuana. And my name's Derek. I'm actually friends with Crip for Ron Paul on Facebook. And so it's kind of just everybody just grows up and starts growing marijuana here and gets involved in the illegal aspects. And so I really appreciate your music and everything you do. And Crip for Ron Paul, I appreciate your show.
All day. Appreciate your time, my G.
No doubt.
I'm going to go ahead and put you for me for just a second, my G. Appreciate that. Now, when it comes to my perspective about that, like, I guess, with my experience with rap music, yeah, I did have a little influence of, the ignorance, brainwashing me to the point, but, it's up to the individual on how they take that and react to that music. With poverty comes crime, and with crime comes these private corporations that make money off of locking people up. Like, you can't blame black people for having drugs or guns in the neighborhood because, for one, we're not bringing in the guns. You don't see niggas in the hood creating bullets. Where do you think this coke come from? Niggas ain't creating coke out of cocoa leaf plant and shit. I mean, they bring the shit in, putting that shit in the urban community. We get caught up as a victim, and then we looked at as a savage. Just Tuesday, I had Goldie Loke and Trady of the East Siders come on, and the first thing I did when they came on was I wished them a happy belated Father's Day because they're great fathers. They're just businessmen. Because they have because they hold the title of being a gangster, so society looks at them a certain way and criticizes them where, they're trying to capitalize off of, their experience and, just speak to the people about, struggles that's going on in the urban community where, we have these fake fabricated G's, that capitalize off the same thing, talking about the life of others, where all we're doing is just speaking shit that we see daily or shit that we've been through trying to provide for our family. So, you really can't blame the finger at the ghetto or the rap community because the shit didn't start with us. Like our Attorney General Eric Holder, Operation Fast and Furious. Like, this dude is selling guns to terrorists that's killing people on American soil. But we're not pointing the fingers at him. Well, some people, but not everybody. Like, the government are the ones that's bringing in these things, and, they're brainwashing people with the mass media where, it's okay to go kill 100 people in a movie, but we talk about it in a rap song, we get looked at as bad guys. But a lot of people didn't know that, you was almost plugged up with Rock Nation back in the G. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen? And, of course, that didn't fall through, so I guess what went wrong with that deal right there?
Ain't nothing. I mean, it was word that they had interest and, who's to say what will happen? Sometimes negotiations don't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? So that's about as far as I can go on that. But yeah, man, to me that just showed me that more people are looking than what most people could think. You know what I'm saying? Like, more people are looking than most people think. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay-Z, Rock Nation, Wale. Shout out to a lot of these guys. I commend them, for doing this still presently in this day, knowing that the time and the emotion and state of the economy right now. I commend these guys for still doing big things, and still doing it. But yeah, man, I got a few people that's always interested in me, and I'm grateful because nothing but my talent and the proper placing to just keeping yourself alive, well, and out of trouble, allow it so people could see what you're doing. I even reach people's interests like that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So yeah, no doubt.
And you're one of the few No Limit artists, you know, after No Limit that still kept going and still had a strong buzz in the music game, not only in the music game but the streets. Period. So, you know, that Rock Nation definitely would have been a good look for you. But anything's a good look, especially going independent. So just keep doing your thing on that shit right there. I know you got an event in Alabama on July 4th. You want to go and plug the people up with that shit. Details on, you know, where they can locate you.
Yeah, straight up, man. If you're in Alabama, near Birmingham, by all means, July 4th of July, I will be at Wages Lounge. Opening up will be the homie Scrag, that boy Sonny Black, and the Cats View Mob, you know what I'm saying, out of Alabama as well. We're just going to have a good time, you know what I'm saying? It's a Fiend concert, you know, International Jones concert. I'm doing a lot of music from, 98 to now, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be good times, you know what I'm saying? Everybody coming out is going to be fans that's 18 years old that's just getting on International Jones. Like they're going to have fans that's probably 40 years old, 35 or 25 that's strictly on my No Limit works, you know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is to bridge the gap. Everybody come out, we have a good time, you know what I'm saying? Have a good time. If you never knew what that No Limit experience was like, at least for Fiend, what I did for it, you know, you're definitely in for a surprise on July 4th at Wages Lounge out there in Birmingham, Alabama. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Because, I mean, you've been putting a lot of work from that motherfucking Ghetto Symphony to Wolf, you know, so your track record is long. Like, you could just Google you and your name pops up with track for days, man. I know were you officially signed to Jet Life at one point?
Believe it or not, we didn't sign any paper. We kind of like just made a gentleman's agreement. You know what I'm saying? We just made a gentleman's agreement. And we're still working and doing things. It's just that I just was letting too much of that touring with Jet Life, kind of like I was getting slightly just distracted with my beginning day one fans too. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get back and cater to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still work with Currency, still work with Musa. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, these my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Corner Boy, you know what I'm saying? Roddy, Trademark, Street Wiz, Smoke Dizza, you know, Wiz Khalifa, all these are guys, you know what I'm saying? It's just that I've realized I got a brand and to uphold and upkeep, and that's what I wanted to make sure I fine-tune the brand that I've been doing for almost 20 years now, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure everything was straight on that end. You know what I'm saying? Before with the way of some kid come and just mimic my style and run with it or something, and they forgot all about me, you know?
I know you recently had the EP drop. You said you have another album coming out this September. Is that correct?
Go cop that. Rapping Papers. That's with a WRAPPING. Second word Papers. Rapping Papers. That's on iTunes. And I just dropped a project hosted by DJ Swoop called Capo Lovato, which is Italian for Masterpiece. It's a 8-cut EP. You can go check that out on that Piff Live mixtapes right now. You can go to www.fienddigital.com. That's www.fienddigital.com and cop all my projects and see all my updates from being on there. Also visit me on Twitter at FIEND, the number 4, DA Money, Fiend for the Money. Also on Facebook, Fiend for the Money. On Instagram, it's INT Jones, International Jones. On Instagram, it's INT Jones. You know, yell at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm making music, constantly making music. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I drop at least every 2 months. I'm always giving free projects for the cats. And I'm also making projects available for sale on digital sites such as iTunes or fienddigital.com.
Sir, I know, I said we always get a bad rep being this gangster music game and shit. What are the positivity or positive things that you're currently doing for your community?
Me waking up is doing plenty for the community. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge that I have alone in this music business that I plan on handing over to, you know, people from out my community for them to be able to do something for themselves is plenty. Assisting with legal means, you know, exposing the music business and just leading by example, you know what I'm saying? Leading by example alone is what I'm doing for my community until I'm able to kind of like get a lot of other things solidified. I don't want to talk to myself, but I wake up, I'm doing plenty. Because guess what? They're watching me, and they're always watching. So, you know, me walking out my door, handling myself in according to the way that I handle myself is doing plenty. Because it affects the community, it affects the hood, you know, how you handle yourself, you know. And I'm not trying to tell you I'm a role model. I'm just trying to tell you that, you know, I know people watching, so I be the best me I could be. You know what I'm saying? And from there, you know, they could be the best they could be if they ain't seen it before what to do. You know, I ain't saying that I'm perfect. I'm just saying I'm being the best person I could be, which is doing a hell of a job, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got myself incarcerated nowhere. I'm not knocking my brothers that are, but, you know, you need to see all perspectives of what a man of color looks like and what he's able to do, you know what I'm saying?
Sir, I know you said you had a recent project coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Are you going to have any type of special features? What can we expect from the International Joint?
Yeah, well, I got a project just came out, a couple of hours, like I said. It's featuring a few buddies, Homie Short out of Vegas, and my little cousin Trey Woods out of Chicago. And that's about it. I have a few singers. I even got Moby Dick singing background on Palm Trees, you know what I'm saying, from the legendary No Limit roster. But my newest project coming out September going to be TGIF, Thank God It's Fiend. So far, I don't know as far as features. I don't want to over-talk nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be special. You know what I mean? It's gonna be special. I'm now at a point now I'm able to do records and not depend on features on my project. You know, that's another thing I'm happy about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to depend on somebody being on there. You know, I don't depend on nobody being on there, but things are going to be good. The project going to be dope. Going to be a lot of dope production from a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear even more about it, too. So y'all get ready. You've been dying to hear some die-hard Fiend. You know what I'm saying? As they say, the No Limit Fiend. You know what I'm saying? I got a few surprises for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to tell you it's 1998 all over. I'm just trying to tell you I got a few surprises for you. You won't be disappointed.
That's real. Now, before I go and close the show out and do my little outro, I'm going to ask you the same thing I ask everybody else that's been on the show. What the fuck happened to gangster rap? You know, nowadays it seems to be a trend, a fashion trend of everybody wearing skirts and just the whole, like, all these in the closet homosexual rappers, man. What do you think happened to gangster rap, man?
I think that gangster rap or hip-hop isn't controlled by us anymore. It's controlled by whoever is controlled by it. They're doing with it what they want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what it is, you know. Everybody wants to check and want, you know what I'm saying, and want to be the newest fashionista, you know what I'm saying, more than the new MC with the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, gangster rap has it went nowhere. It's just there's a lot of different more varieties of music or artists out here, and the internet allows the world to see everybody when they want you to see them, if it keeps your attention. Compared to that back in the day, you know, people could be like, nah, man, that shit weak, that shit soft, that ain't coming out, you know what I'm saying? So I think now with the internet stuff, you know, these kids don't have to wait. All they got to do is get a gang of likes on YouTube or something to that nature, and there you have it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how their careers start. Yeah, so there's nobody doing the filler, like, you know, the middleman making you say, nah, we ain't feeling this shit, you know. You know what I'm saying? Coming out. We ain't got A&Rs no more. It's just, you know, just young dudes with marketing degrees that don't know a damn nothing about your music, but they're your A&R. and they trying to put your creativity on a budget. So, and they make the last biggest hit. They want to make the next 100 futures. We got T-Pain, okay, well, now we need 40 more T-Pains so we can get rid of him.
That's real. Before we go and close the show out, is there anything else you want to say to the people, my nigga?
Yeah, go visit FiendDigital.com. Go check out my latest mixtape, Release Capolavaro. You know what I'm saying? That's Italian for masterpiece. That's Capolavaro. Capolavaro. That means masterpiece in Italian. Go download that. Go buy Rapping Papers off of iTunes. That's WRAPPING. Second word Papers. And, follow me on my social sites. I'll be somewhere soon. Support the freshest gear on the street. Sleepy Bear Tees. Visit that, sleepybeartees.com. SLEEPYBEARTEES.com. And shit, man, 1030. Holler at your neighborhood hero, babe.
Yes, sir. That is the infamous Fiend. I am Crip Ron Paul, your favorite freedom fighter, thugging it everywhere. Make sure you check out my YouTube, Crip Ron Paul. I just released a couple videos with Bang Smurf, basically talking about, the whole rap game and how it's all fucked up and watered down. Also released a couple interviews, skits with Goldie Loke and Trey D, talking about the reunion and what to expect next with the East Siders. October 20th, I will be in Trenton, New Jersey. We are having another smoke down. And in respect to let Governor Chris Christie know that we're fed up with his drug war policy out there, and with him getting ready to announce his candidacy for presidency, let the people know that we want to smoke weed. We are not criminals for wanting to do so. Also, I will be out there with New Jersey Weed Man, helping him with his campaign, also teaming up with Michael and Lefty with the Weed Road Warriors Tour. Ignorance is no excuse. Once again, I am your boy, Crip Ron Paul. Check out the website, Blog Talk Radio /Revolutionary Cuz. Also check out the fan page, Revolutionary Cuz. My Instagram is also Revolutionary Cuz. Just bringing back that gangster shit, man. As I always say, too many bitch niggas eating while the underdogs is still trying to come up in the game, man. But yeah, man, appreciate your time, Fiend. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate all your work. And shit, man, holla at your boy.
No doubt, man. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk real soon.
Bet. Peace, my nigga.